Hey everybody, I'm the Maple Man. Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to a brand new gameplay I've put together that involves occult sims and high school. The high school pack, I can't remember if it's called teenage years or high school years. I haven't played very much. You've seen a couple of my other gameplays. I've done it a little bit, but I wanted to create this gameplay to really dive into it. But I wanted to use as many of the occult characters as possible, and I tried to make a bit of a variation. In this first part, we're going to meet what I'm calling the main family and a couple of the occult sims, but not all of them. Over the course of the first few parts, I think I'll introduce the whole character roster for this gameplay. And the idea is we're going to do as much of the teenage years. There's the teen aspirations, which I never really got into yet. Hoping to do that, and of course, also play a bit of their occult sides to them. That is the idea of this gameplay. Just a little bit about me. I'm Canadian. My name Maple Man comes from the fact that my US friends kind of call me that, or at least some of them do. So, hence the nickname. And I come from a long line of gamers. I was just thinking about my grandparents the other day, and my one grandmother who, passed away a long time ago. I remember being not even a teenager and being up way too late playing ColecoVision. That was a long time ago. I'm just going to leave it there. My age might give me a new perspective on The Sims and also keep me at sort of an amateur level as technology sometimes escapes me, but I hope it's still an enjoyable gameplay. I have high hopes for this one. I'm very excited about it. The difference in these intros that's going to be a little different in this gameplay is instead of just going into like Create a Sim and telling you about their character or telling a bit of history, I've tried to do little vignettes on a lot of the characters so you actually see a little bit of their history before they dive into the main gameplay. I'm not sure if that completely makes sense, but if you watch these first few parts, I think you'll see what I did. Anyway, I really hope you enjoy this gameplay. I'm excited to play it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. If you have any questions, comments, or anything you'd like to say, please feel free to leave them in the comment section. I do read comments, and when I can, I definitely try to reply. So, peace and love, everybody. Let's play. So we begin our story with the Goldspear family. They're a young couple with a daughter, and they live in Windenburg on the little island. This is our first character. The mother is Savannah. She is sort of a free spirit. She loves gardening, art, all those creative fun things, and she's just a very loving character. She is the mother of Sarah, who we'll get to shortly, but the next character we're going to look at, actually, Savannah is just doing some gardening here. They've just moved into this very strange, very big mansion that Richard inherited from one of his relatives. He is a natural-born spellcaster. He hasn't started his magical journey yet, but he's very excited about it. Very unique-looking character. Actually, I love how the Richard and Savannah turned out. He is going to go to the realm of magic and learn about magic spells and stuff. That is his goal and the way he will support his family. Our last character in the family is, of course, the daughter, Sarah, who is over here trying to get to the backyard, but the place is so big it's taking her forever. She is a toddler, and we will see her age up a little bit later in this part because this whole gameplay is about occult teens, but this is what I'm calling the main family. Sarah is also a spellcaster. She inherited that from her father, so she does have where is it here? It's not in her inventory. I thought she would have the little Glimmerstone, but I guess not. But she does have the Realm of Magic book here. Maybe the Glimmerstone only appears when she's a child or a teen. But to start the family, Richard is going to go off to the Realm of Magic, talk to the sages, and start learning magic. Probably practical magic, but we'll see when we're there and who's there. And we're just going to have the girls, Sarah and Savannah, just doing their thing. Savannah enjoying planting the garden. Like I said, they just moved into this house, which is a build that took me a long time to do. This is based on Chateau Frise in Brindleton Bay. I was going to move them in there, but I needed more space for all the other stuff that will come into play as well. And I don't really want to go into the house because when they're teens, there's going to be more characters, and they're all going to move into this house as we go along. And I don't want to spoil too much of the gameplay. I just wanted to just basically introduce the first few characters and go from there. So next, we will jump ahead to Richard at the Realm of Magic. So the father of this family, Richard, started his Realm of Magic career. The way he was going to support the family was through magic, which is his heritage, how he inherited the house. So he started in the Realm of Magic, kind of enthralled by it, and he met the mages, the sages. He met the sages, and he felt that he wanted to learn practical magic. He was not a wild child wanting mischievous or untamed magic, so he did befriend Simeon Silversweater to learn practical magic, which is all he wanted. And Simeon became a great mentor to him. And eventually they became close enough that Simeon was ready to teach Richard practical magic. And his first spell was Grubberoo. So a couple days later, we're back at the household. Richard came back from the Realm of Magic. Everyone's having a great time. Savannah is playing with her daughter Sarah. Meanwhile, our focused sim... Whoa, stop. Richard, being very focused on magic, is practicing his magic, practical magic. He's not having a lot of fun. I think he's finding it frustrating. And he's learned all the possible spells, but he hasn't really practiced any of the spells. So he is going to practice his spell Inferniate, just to see how it works. And unfortunately, the fire was just far too close. So needless to say, Richard's untimely death in the family hit them extremely hard, and, you know, it really changed the dynamic. But little did they know that there was going to be something coming back into their life sooner than expected. And that's where we're going to go next. We're going to wait a few days, let these two girls just sort of mourn a little bit, and then they're just going to spend time together. So they're still very sad because of the loss of Richard, Sarah's dad, Savannah's husband, you know, but the two of them, you know, they took themselves out to the park and they're just trying to have a little bit of fun, trying to have a normal life. And they notice that there's this little kid here that's just sleeping on the bench. His parents are nowhere to be seen. Nowhere to be seen. And he's all alone. So Savannah, of course, being very concerned, decided to go check in on him.
Ooh, keep that. Marik Poshima? Oh, Tinkwil.
So Sarah and Savannah adopted into their family, and little did they know that he also had some special things about him. But they learn that as he grows up, along with Sarah, his new sister. So the family kind of immediately grew. So as time went on, Savannah tried to find this little fella's parents, but they could not be found. So she did adopt Minx and called him Minx. It was a name Savannah chose. It's a little different. But he and Sarah have started growing up together, and he is a little werewolf, they found out. And that's and that is what our Minx character is. And he and Sarah get along perfectly. He is a bit of a loner, but you know, growing up with Savannah as his mom and Sarah as his new sister, he didn't feel too bad about it, but he does have a need to be off on his own, partly because of being a werewolf. But as you can see, Sarah has no problem with her new brother Minx. And obviously Savannah likes the braids because both of them have braids. So our story now shifts, or in another way, a new story is beginning out in Sulani. We have a family here, a brother and a sister, Dominic and Anna Lou, and they come from a very poor family. Their parents have passed away. They're both young adults, and they decided, you know, as brother and sister, they would just stay together in Sulani. They don't have much. They come from a very poor family, but they do have a little shelter for their beds, a little kitchen outside, a little fridge outside, cooking things. Not much at all, though. They don't really have a lot. But what they do have is both have the trait for child of the islands. And you know what? Even if they're lonely, they have the ability to summon the island elementals whenever they want. And they do love Sulani. So bringing the island elementals to their home is something that they're going to do quite often and get quite close to them. And two of them are now here. There are usually three. There are three, and they are going to converse with them and get to know them. And this particular island elemental is called Fui Fui, and Anna has kind of taken a liking to him, even though they grew up with them and they've always been around the island elementals, but now it's like they're introducing them to their new home. The two lady elementals seem to be off swimming and doing their own thing, which is fine. We don't control the island elementals, we can summon them. And the relationship's built on even some of the simplest things, because as I said, they don't have a lot of money, so they just like spending time together. And Dominic should actually go swimming with the other elementals, as Anna seems to be getting along with Dominic quite well, as they build a sand sculpture on this visit, and their relationship begins to grow. And over time, Anna and Fui Fui became very close. They became good friends and even began a bit of a romance, which is unusual for a spirit elemental, but it was just meant to be. And romance was blossoming. And at one point, they became so close that Anna actually asked Fui Fui if he would move in.
Oh, yes.
And at that point, Fui Fui gave up his immortal life and became immortal for Anna. A true love story that spans interplanetary planes. Maybe not interplanetary, but definitely definitely different astral planes, astral worlds, spiritual worlds. And from here, we will jump ahead and check back in on their relationship. And of course, Dominic is still part of the family, still her very much loved brother, even though they were fighting a little bit ago. Just arguments, but brothers and sisters do that. So we are going to check in with the family a little bit down the road now. And it didn't take long before Fooey and Anna had a little daughter named Sydney, as does tend to happen when people are in love. Even though this family is a little unusual, I've got to say. Fooey and Dominic seem to have a romance as well. This family may be a throuple, but right now they have little baby Sydney, a little baby girl, who is the daughter of a spirit elemental. And she will grow up in Sulani to be a teenager, and then she may join our household of occult Sims. We shall see shortly. So since we know a bit of the history of the characters now, or at least some of them, more characters are going to come into this gameplay, but I thought, you know what? We've aged the children, Sarah and Minx, into teenagers, and they're going to high school. I mean, that's the whole idea of this gameplay, is to have our occult characters do high school. So I'm going to get them started. Minx is starving, and they're both hungry, so I think they'll both get breakfast. I think they have a little bit of time. Minx is hot-headed, so he's having a bit of a issue. But let's go grab a serving for both of them while we're waiting. Here, order food, order a veggie slider. You order food, get the junior lunch. Okay, fine. I think we have a little bit of time. Yeah, we have an hour and 40 minutes before class starts. So get something to eat, guys, because you're both hungry. I thought I had time to take care of their needs before they went to school, but at least it's just really hunger. If our werewolf here, Minx, gets a little stinky, that's fine. And while they're doing this, I'm just going to talk a bit about them. So they've grown up together, as we saw, Minx, the adopted werewolf, and Sarah, our born into the family spellcaster. She got that from her father, Richard, who we saw passed away. So I just want to do a day at high school with these two characters. They can meet and maybe make some friends, but I need them to eat first. And probably do a bit more talking once they're in class, because then they're just sitting doing homework and stuff. As I said, more characters are going to come in. We saw, if I edited it in this order, we saw another one, the beginnings of another occult member family. And that character will move in as well eventually. But I thought, let's start with the first two of the main family, the Gold Spear family. Okay, if you are done, kiddo, what do you have to do? You want to live fast. You want to pull a prank 3 times. We're not going to start that, but why don't you make friends with Sydney? Sniff and introduce. And why don't you, Sarah, make friends with Molly? Give her a friendly intro. And once they're in class, I'll explain a bit more about their personalities and stuff. But let's... Oh, they're all waving hi. They're making some friends, maybe. He's sniffing Sydney. Okay, Sydney liked it. Molly likes Sarah. Okay, everybody's running around. We're not going mad. We're not going mad. We're only half at our anger, and we're having fun. Okay, so class is starting. So when class starts, it seems so dark. I don't know why. Sorry. Sorry if the gameplay seems a little dark. It might just be me. It seems to be a little brighter in the recording, so that's good. Okay, so now that they're in class, we got a little bit of time. What class are they in here? Math class. Okay, these two are going to do, they should know, they better know math for other things that are going to come by. So let's talk about Sarah first. I do have to fix one of her traits because I was working on another family when she aged up to a child and she got the vegetarian trait. I'm not going to lie. That is not right. I'm going to change that to genius. I'm going to have to go in and cheat and change that to genius. But she is also erratic. The reason being is her mother Savannah, treats her like a princess. And, she likes that. She wants to please her mother. So she has sort of this preppy attitude, but she also has almost like a split personality where she's a little wilder. And we will see that, we will play that. But that's all I'm going to say about that right now. Her other trait will be genius. I think I already said that. And her teen aspiration is she's goal-oriented. She wants to join an after-school activity, do homework 5 times, which she's already done once, and earn 500 simoleons as the first level. Okay? That's what we're going to do with her. I think that's all we're going to talk about with Sarah right now. Now, with Minx, his traits are he loves the outdoors and he's hot-headed. I also know what his young adult trait will be when we get there. Because I'm not sure how long or how short I'm going to play this game. We're definitely playing through high school to finish some of their goals and stuff. Oh, the class is almost over, so we can take care of their needs. But Mink was adopted. We saw that. That's his character. I don't have anything else to say about him right now, except he is a werewolf, so there's going to be issues there. Okay, hungry again. That's fine. Let's go have lunch, Minx. Order food, have meatball tamales. And how are you doing, Sarah? What do you need? You just need some fun. So why don't you make another friend? Are they all still sitting in class? Oh no, they're leaving now. Why don't you introduce yourself to who is this? Who is this girl here? She looks cute. She looks cute. I don't know where Sarah's walking off to. Cassandra. Oh, it's Cassandra. She looks a little different. Oh, yeah, that's right. They redid the whole goth family. But yeah, I think Sarah would definitely be in with the goths. Definitely down with it for her darker side. I said wilder, darker, whatever. And not necessarily the goths are wilder people. I've known a lot of goths in my day, and most of them are very friendly, good people. And that's, I don't know if that statement says anything or not. In my younger day, I was a little edgier. I was not a goth, but I was a little edgier, for sure. Not so much anymore. Okay. Werewolf, you need to use the washroom. And I know, the janitor's in there. Cute. Take a feral poo. There you go. Take a feral poo. After you finish your food, maybe you should also introduce yourself to Jeb. Why not? Sniff and introduce. And I guess werewolves just automatically have this glutton trait where they eat crazy like. Okay, so Sarah. Okay. Oh, you're talking to Cassandra? That's fantastic. Let's give her a couple more things. Tell her a funny story. And then you can also introduce yourself to... Actually, you should introduce yourself to Wolfgang. He's also, with the dark makeup and stuff, poor little gothy as well. Okay. And you need to join an after-school activity. Why don't we figure that out? It's going to be a bit of a pain, and I don't think we're going to do it throughout the whole gameplay now that I think about it. But let's see what happens. Everybody's heading to class, though. Let's join an after-school activity here. How do we do this? No, not travel. I can't remember. Oh, yes, like business. Join an after-school activity. There's Minx. He's coming to say hello to Jeb. He's like, I know you're doing homework and stuff, but hi. And it is Monday, so it is like first day of school. Okay, what would Sarah be into? I know we don't know much about her yet, but I don't think she would be, maybe cheer team member, chess team member. I kind of like that because she is a genius. Computer team member. I don't think she'd be into drama club or football or scouts. So let's do, for her, let's do a computer team member. I'm just thinking if this will work best. Yeah, I think she's kind of the geekiest ones. Oh, good. It's not every day. I know some clubs are every day. Now, I'm going to think about Minx because I could see him being either on the football team, but I do have another character that might be doing that, so I might have him join Scouts. But we'll wait. His his things here,
Yes, and Norb.
pranking 3 times, getting into trouble, and sneaking out to a party, that's all kind of not club oriented. So we'll leave it at that. And now we're getting through lunch hour. Okay, you are friends with Sydney and Jeb. Okay, Jeb kind of likes you, so let's insult feeble nature. No. Complain about your problems. Maybe that actually might help with your anger here. Oh, okay. For fury, envelopes werewolves like a beautiful flaming blanket. As fury grows, their animalistic instincts begin to manifest and will eventually take over. Fury gain is constant and is hastened by temperaments, preferences, werewolf abilities, the full moon. Be careful out there. Okay, so there's nothing to really stop him other than trying to keep his needs in check. Okay, where's Sarah going? Did she go to the other class? Oh no, they're going to this class. Okay, so this part I will probably zip ahead on because they're going to do school, and then I think I picked the computer club and it's just a rabbit hole. So it's nothing that we can go to with her. I think the other ones were. I'm not entirely sure. High school years has been out for a while, or teenage years, whatever it's called. I can never get the names right. But what class are they in now? Science class. But I don't, this is really my first time really diving into the high school teenage years. I've done a few little days here and there in some of my other gameplays, but this really is the first time I am diving in. So actually, I think we are going to zip ahead. Actually, class is almost over, so the day is almost over. So I'm going to zip ahead. I think the next thing we're going to do is we're going to have a little bit more to this part. We are going to probably meet another team that will join this weird household. And the whole reason behind them... Oh, let me finish my thought before I read this. And the whole reason behind that is I think Savannah is just very open and a lot of... And knows a lot about occult because Richard, her husband, was a spellcaster. Obviously not a very good one. But I think she's open to the occult ideas. She's very, whimsical and into crystals and hippie stuff, for lack of a better word, that I think a lot of the parents who can't deal with occult children will pass them on to her, almost like a boarding school. That's the word. Okay, so back to this. We'll finish this little part. We'll finish the day, which is about a minute away, and then we'll zip ahead. I'm excited to introduce the next occult character. But anyway, guest speaker. A guest speaker came into class today to talk about a teen's future, or maybe they were selling some jewelry. Minx isn't sure. Around the classroom, some students begin to pull out their phones, but the teacher is occasionally glancing at the students. Should Minx pull out his too? Wait until... Well, actually, he's a bad kid, so I don't know which one is the bad thing, but I think, he'd pull out his phone anyway. What does this do? Minx checks his phone, posts a quick update, and stuffs it back into his pocket just before the teacher gazes. The teacher's gazes falls on him. That's a lot of plurals right there. That was close. New post on Social Bunny. That's right, they have Social Bunny too, which I've never done before. So this is going to be interesting. Anyway, these two are just doing their first day of class. They haven't been getting up to too much trouble. They made a few friends. Now we're zipping ahead. So we're back in Sulani with Dominic, Anna, and Fui. They're getting along great. It's been a while. We've sort of caught up to the time frame of the other family. And little Sydney has grown up. She is looking pretty good. She has a happy family. You know what? They don't have much, but they love each other very much. But Sydney does need to leave. She doesn't feel quite right here. And you'll see in a couple minutes, she needed to get away from the family, not because there was any rift or anything, but because she wasn't sure how to deal with how she's different with her family, and heard about Savannah and, the werewolf and spellcaster household, and she thought she'd go and check and see if she could stay with them for a while. And that's where we're going to next. So we are back at the Gold Spear residence, and Sydney has found where they live and is sort of knocking on the front door to hopefully join the household. And this is Sydney. They are. They left Sulani, they left their loving family because they are trans, and they don't know how their family is going to take it. So she's not only a daughter of an elemental, but they are also trans, and I will do my best to use the pronouns they. So they are a son of a spirit elemental. They still look quite feminine, but we are going to change that over time. I tried finding the binders, but I couldn't. And I think I may have to go into create a sim and fix a few things that I couldn't figure out, but we'll do that. I think there's an evolution to this. There's the transformation that we'll go through, along with the other things of being in high school and being the child of a spirit elemental. So Sydney is definitely a unique character. She has joined the Gold Spear household in Windenburg, and now we have 3 occult members. An offspring of a spirit elemental, our lost boy who is a werewolf, the daughter of Richard and Savannah, Sarah, who is a spellcaster. The one thing about Sarah, though, before I sort of sign off in this part, she does have a Glimmerstone now, but she doesn't have the trait for weak or strong bloodline. So I'm not sure what happened there, but that's okay. She has the Glimmerstone. She is going to be a full-on spellcaster like her father, and all the while doing high school. So another member has entered the family, and this is where we're going to end this part. I hope you're enjoying this gameplay so far. A lot of it is, instead of just telling the background story of the characters, I want to show a bit of it. So it's taken me a little while to piece it together, and hopefully the piecing together doesn't seem so choppy, but there's definitely some more occult members that are going to come in. I'm sure of it. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching. Till the next time, peace and love.